Hello and welcome to the Grad Lab Podcast, your definitive podcast for me, Jordan Scribner, watching a bunch of amiibos. We got 8 amiibos fighting each other to the death for my amusement. They are all tiny megabyte creatures fighting for their lives on the field of battle, and I am their cruel, cruel puppet master. Actual reason we're here, it's a new episode of the Grad Lab Podcast. Starring myself, Don Fox, Allie Pipitone, Sienna Harrelson, and Jacqueline Juretus, all distinct and refined members of the prestigious Savannah College of Art and Design's Sequential Art Graduate Program. We're here this week on an episode recorded on April 21st of 2016 to talk about some of the important things in life, like the new Powerpuff Girls TV show, and other things like a bunch of other 90s TV shows, some trades that we've looked over this week, such as Bob's Burgers and Invader Zim and Miss Marvel. We also have a nice conversation about casting problems in the film side of sequential art narratives, things like we were talking about things like Ghost in the Shell and Doctor Strange and a whole bunch of things. If you're even vaguely familiar with this year's Oscars, then there's plenty to talk about. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll actually just throw you right in and hope you do enjoy.
Sure, it saves that. It listens to it once in a
Welcome
while.
to the Grad Lab Podcast, where we've already deleted a fair chunk of recording.
Well, you should have told me. All the
This
words.
is your fault.
No, I said we're recording like
Did you?
3 times. Yes, I did.
Allie, why did you let me go?
Because I'm an agent of chaos.
Alright.
Just close the website so you aren't tempted to talk about it.
Jackie's coming back around, right?
I
Who's
think so.
coming
Yeah, well,
Stuff's
all
here.
stuff's
Who's here?
Jacquie.
Well, we
Jacquie. Oh yeah, how's she doing?
Wow.
Awesome. Did you say Jeff too, or just Jacquie?
I don't think Jeff will be coming
Thought I said.
because he's always hungry after class. I don't know.
Yeah. Here, I'm looking up that.
Maybe Rashad will come today.
Miss Marvel stuff.
You can tell us all about your Oplex. I know he wants to do a show about that. Or play. He wasn't clear. He wants to either just play or do like an episode about it.
I don't know what HeroClix is, but I'd be
It's
interested in
like
figuring it out.
little, they kind of look like D&D models, except they're like Marvel superheroes, and they have the little spinny bits at the bottom that let you pick their attacks and show you their stats and stuff like that. So it's basically just like card games, but little figurines.
Is there a figurine shaped like a penis?
Probably. There are enough Marvel heroes out there. I have one that kind of looks like one already. It's like I don't know what it is, like Waterboy. He's like jetting out.
Just get a
the actual Waterboy's torso.
Just
is
get a
the head.
Juggernaut, and then just give him a custom helmet.
I think I have a Juggernaut.
Oh,
actually.
fuck! Happy birthday, Allie. Let's do.
What was I gonna look up? What are our show notes?
They're on the.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. No, let's
These
open
little
on
shitbags.
that. Let's definitely start out.
Should
with
we
the
work
Powerpuff
up to
Girls.
Powerpuff Girls?
We'll get there because
I feel like that's one where I'm just gonna be like.
Yeah.
It'll be
I'm
beautiful.
That's one where I think me and Allie are gonna have a lot to say.
I'm definitely ready for
feel like
to
everything
talk
I
about
have-
that one too when we get to it. But I'm trying to find the
I
the artist for the new Miss Marvel.
You should have given me a heads up. I would have brought the trade with me.
Yeah, but Arthur Adams does the art. Who does the writing? Ugh. This isn't helpful. But yeah, just trying to figure out. So it is an actual created by Sana Amanat, and there's absolutely nothing about her online.
Probably a younger artist.
Yeah, here, let me try and find a
different sort of whatever if I could get my keyboard to work, which it won't. But that's the fun. Alright, so here we go. And her Wikipedia article is a paragraph. I can't find anything else. Twitter. Oh wait, no, that's just a director and content and character development at Marvel, editor for Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, Daredevil. All tweets are mine, and so are French fries. This is like I kind of hate that where like it's a published and now fairly popular creator. And I guess that shouldn't be complaining about someone somehow averting being a just like completely splattered all over the internet. But damn it, it's not convenient.
You can make stuff up.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Her LinkedIn profile just says
they were also
publishing.
the first. They're like the 17th person to land on the moon. Good for them. And then they drew Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Well,
Based on those experiences.
You heard it here. Miss Marvel is about moon Muslims.
Don't sue us or SCAD.
But that was like we're the
kind of is. She
what?
got her powers from Moon Mist or something.
Moon Mist?
What?
That's what it is?
Tarragon Mist, I forget
The
it.
tarragon.
I
Wait,
don't know if
isn't
it's-
tarragon a spice?
I don't know,
I
like
thought it was.
I forget exactly how you pronounce it. I don't know if it's still from the moon in the new continuity or whatever they're doing now with the
Yeah.
Inhumans.
Let's see. Where's her actual history? Fictional superhero and appearing in comic books. Oh, thank you, Wikipedia. Make it simpler for me. Shape-shifting abilities, has inhuman genes, so not explaining anything. Where the hell is like what I'm actually looking for?
Yeah, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for like where her cardamom mist came from.
Cardigan Mist.
Like the oregano mist.
Tarragon,
there's-
Terracotta.
Okay, let's see if Marvel has any, like the actual Marvel website has anything on it, because like the Kamala Khan Miss Marvel started out in like 2014. Yeah, it's saying right here 2014, and there's like nothing, like I can't find anything about it on like the superhero wikis or anything like that. Like I would be able to find any other superhero. So it's
Get
I
out
don't
of
know
here.
why that's not on here.
Hello, Jackie.
She has a very brief Wikipedia article. And oh wait, no, here's a comic find that might help. So welcome to the Grad Lab Podcast, where I try really poorly to find information on Google.
Yay!
Woohoo! It's during a high school party that Kamala decided to try and fit in with the regular crowd, but realized it wasn't for her. She left the party abruptly, and on her way home was encased by the Tarragon Mists. The Tarragon Mists.
What do they call it?
The Tarragon Mists.
Yeah, so I was right, and you were all like, oregano.
You said the Tarragon. Like the, I'm pretty sure that is a spice. Created by an inhuman geneticist named Randak, the Tarragon Mists accelerate genetic advances. Inhumans are exposed to this mist when they come of age. Each experiences different results. So it's just like they took the X-Men business and made it into a genetic weapon, or like made it into a dirty bomb.
But it's not connected with the X-Men.
Yeah, they don't need the X-Men anymore. They got the Inhumans.
Well, it's still like the Marvel. Yeah, they're doing the Inhumans so that I don't know. I feel like that's probably their answer to Fox having the X-Men. They're pushing all the Inhumans super hard, and those will. I wonder how far we are from an Inhumans movie.
Man, is there anything to do there though?
What do you mean?
Like in an Inhumans movie, like are there any Inhuman characters that are kind of standoutish that they could actually do a movie about?
Well, there's like I don't know like anything about the Inhumans. That's like the other thing.
I think they have a bulldog. That's all I know.
Yeah, the Inhumans are a race of superhumans. Who were they led by? Is that Bullseye? Is Bullseye their leader? That ain't right. He's got the same costume as Bullseye, except with like little horns coming out. Who is this? As we're recording, Dawn is drawing really terrifying twerking Powerpuff Girls on.
Well, Blossom's ass is hanging out.
That's exactly how it was in the freaking TV show too.
Yeah, remember they're all about memes.
Yeah. Let's just go into that while I'm still looking up stuff on the Inhumans. So you all watched the first episode, right? Or
I only found clips. I wouldn't even.
They had the entire first episode on Cartoon Network, I think it was Cartoon Network Asia.
I didn't try that hard. I really didn't.
It was like the first thing I found. You like just.
When I say I didn't try hard, I literally looked on YouTube and then gave up because I knew it wouldn't be there.
It was abysmal. It was like 11 minutes of my life I will never get back.
I just saw the clips, and that's all I needed to just give up.
I traveled to the Lisa Frankiverse and like found a party panda and like expressed like 12 different memes in the course of about 30 seconds because that's what all the kiddos want to see, and so they're just jamming in there, and it just felt soulless and happy.
That's why people watch Adventure Time, right? Because sometimes they reference the Grumpy Cat or whatever.
It's like those ones have the like the Adventure Times and the Steven Universes and stuff like that. They have and like regular show is probably the one that goes closest to that, but they're still not just like straight up calling them out like that, or just having their faces suddenly turn into into a meme face, or
what was that face
having them twerking. It was the No Me Gusta thing.
But what's that from? I don't.
It's just
they're referencing stuff.
It was just like the stuff that those were like all of the troll face things that came off of 4chan like 50 years ago, and people are still just like tossing them around to like as substitutes for conversation. And I mean I can get that to a very brief extent, but like come on, it's overused. You missed the train. You don't need to like completely jam your show full of it.
But Tumblr gets it, and it's funny.
Like, and
was there ever a point where that kind of stuff was okay?
No, there never really was. It was like just like people using whatever excuse they could to bring the same cheesy little one-liners in over and over again. It was like if there is something that personifies the death of creative thought, then that stuff is probably it. And now they're jamming it into the Powerpuff Girls, which has absolutely like what from the original show made them think that this was a good idea.
Well, it's not the people from the original show.
Yeah,
no.
But like they brought it from
Craig McCracken's
it's the
busy
Powerpuff Girls.
out.
Like they're
Wander Over Yonder.
Yeah, that show had a tone and like a fairly well developed world and stuff to go into it, and they turned it into high school and memes, but they're all still like 5 or something.
They're all still like 5 years old, but they go to high school now.
What?
It's like, what are you guys doing?
Well, this isn't even the first one, because there's that like the all grown up Powerpuff Girls thing that they tried to do a couple years back.
Ago.
Yeah, that was a good long while ago.
Who
and
did that?
Like fell into the ground. I don't know. You have to look it up because I never saw anything but just like images from it, and I was just like, I don't want to open that can of worms. I don't want to.
You know you're curious.
You can see, and it's like I would have never heard about this. I would have never heard about this new Powerpuff Girls if it weren't for like everyone trashing tearing into it with the meme nonsense.
You're not talking about.
Talking about Powerpuff Girls, yeah.
Is that it? That was an anime. That doesn't count.
I don't know if that was even
Japan made that.
Because it was more recent. Because this is like 10 years back.
Oh
or
wait,
something,
there was
something
another
more recent.
Pants, whatever.
What? Pants?
Dance pants. Is that it?
Wait, dance pants. Yeah, that thing.
This looks trashy, but I still like it more than what they did with the show.
They changed it up, but it's still closer to the original art style, and that they did basically just like tried to Samurai Jack the outlines and stuff. But it's still.
But they aren't doing enough with the color to make it okay. Yeah. Samurai Jack, the reason it worked is because they had such a brilliant idea of concept, composition, color, and then value as well.
Why is it called Power Pants?
It had something to do with pants.
Oh, this was just
actually,
like a short special. And
that actually started the weird trend of the Powerpuff Girls being super into video games all of a sudden.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
So now, like,
what is
they
the
just
purpose
have
of
things
any
where
of this?
playing a video game. And that was the plot of the special from a few years ago, and I think that was like the plot of the first one. They come in and they're like excited about playing a video game.
It's now. But that's it. Like it's the same thing they're doing with the new one. Like, what about the original Powerpuff Girls, which is like really successful and beloved? It's like, what about that screamed like, oh, we need to be hip and make references.
Because it dealt with like issues of feminism and things like that.
Yeah, but it didn't like scream it out.
No, it
wasn't
did
just
very
like,
well.
Like it was very tactful and just like
they looked at the Steven Universe and they looked at Adventure Time.
Yeah.
And instead of talking to the people who made those shows, who are making those shows, and maybe getting them involved. Man, I feel like maybe they did that, like they shopped it around and they were just like...
Well, that screams like the kind of thing that like, I can't remember her name, the woman who's doing, who left Adventure Time to do Bee and Puppy Cat.
Natasha Allegri.
Yeah, Natasha Allegri. That kind of stuff screams, like derived from Powerpuff Girls.
They have people who could do a reboot well.
Yeah. And like, did you guys see who, like, the team behind this new one?
It's Nick Jennings, and all I know is he previously worked on SpongeBob, which is already kind of like not the tone you would want to go for if you're rebooting Powerpuff Girls.
And this is like the more recent SpongeBob, where they're doing like a bunch of weird things with with their art and their storylines.
I can check.
Because it's like I haven't seen much like a lot about it more lately, but in more recent years, since I stopped watching SpongeBob long ago, I had seen them doing a bunch of really weird and out there stuff with their artwork and with their I don't know if the storyline really matches it or if they're just trying to go way out there to find new stuff for SpongeBob to do. But,
let me see. SpongeBob, he worked on it from 1999 to 2004.
Oh, so he worked on like like when SpongeBob was in its prime.
But for all these series and movies he worked on, he was the background painter or a layout artist or an art director. He wasn't in charge of writing or anything.
Yeah. So
I don't.
This is his first actual like high up production job, the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, he's executive producer and director on Powerpuff Girls.
Man.
He didn't learn anything from his time on SpongeBob.
He was an art director and developer on SpongeBob. That's like a bigger.
I know, but
art director on Adventure Time from 2010 to 2015.
But you look at the new Powerpuff Girls, and none of that made it into.
Right.
No,
none of that design
like it's
sense
so
made it
fit.
into
It's so
Powerpuff
thin.
Girls. It looks like. Well, it looks like they looked at Steven Universe because they all have that geometric, like kind of. Hold on, it's like.
Like I couldn't stand the line weight in everything they were doing. Like
it's not just the line.
Like just as far as the
weight,
stuff, like the line weight was killing it
it's
for
the
me.
way the secondary characters are designed too. Like look at this. Like
yeah, they don't fit.
Oh man.
They don't fit.
yeah,
at all.
they just kind of looked at Steven Universe and go like characters are shaped like this and this.
That's working.
No, like there's one like the one on the
everything in that world is designed like that.
Yeah.
So it fits, and this just looks like
looking at like this bearded, like there's the bearded Steven Universe looking guy, and then Steven Universe's dad next to him, and then Steven Universe's girlfriend on the left.
I don't know.
It's kind of.
I don't know if the designs bite on it that much.
It's not well, like the right two definitely do. The left one, I'm not sure. Like I can't place it, but it has
it's very
something else.
the proportions are very much.
And it's like it's fine. I have no problem with them biting those designs or whatever if it fits. If it fits.
Well, like I said, they just looked
all.
at it. So and they're just overlaying that design sense on top of Powerpuff Girls.
That freaking that no me gusta face that hurts. That like physically hurts.
I just want to start punching people. Like that no me gusta thing. A lot of this issue.
Yeah, there it is. I don't understand what no me gusta is. So
it's an old meme.
This just makes me mad because not only do I not understand it,
but Tumblr gets it.
Yeah.
But this is like from what 50 years ago?
Yeah, this is like one of the.
We might as well be referencing lolcats.
Like one of the original things when memes started to be referred to as like internet memes started to be referred to as memes.
Rafflecopter.
And then the actual definition of memes got completely lost and.
Well, what if they had an episode where they played Rafflecopter and registered a MySpace account?
It's probably gonna be it.
Don't give them ideas.
Blossom has
and then they just
take out her MySpace account.
Then they start getting tweaked out in the Lisa Frankiverse and twerking.
This is cyberbullying.
Yeah.
It's Powerpuff Girls, so we put the rainbows in everywhere, but it's just like I don't know, the Lisa Frankiverse vibe kept killing it for me. Like nothing against something against, but nothing against the Empire, the Lisa Frankiverse, but just like slapping more of like the very surface level understanding of like what made the show like aesthetically and like popular aesthetically and story wise. Like that, I mean, it's.
But that's exactly like where a lot of these reboots are failing, is that they're relying too heavily on the idea of nostalgia without actually capturing what the show used to be.
Yeah.
So it's all these like kids that watch the show, or were inspired by it in some form as adults and decided to recreate it, but they're doing a piss poor job of it.
Yeah. And
they're not capturing the spirit of what that show actually was for young viewers.
Yeah, and
they're just shitting on it.
We're in this
they didn't
weird
get
stage.
anyone involved who actually cares about the
Why
property.
would they want to? Because as far as they're concerned, it's theirs now.
None of the original voice actresses are involved.
No.
Yeah.
What
They
this
still have Tom Kenny and Tom King doing voices.
No, what this is and what it reads as is some piss poor, like, some kid watched Powerpuff Girls as when they were small. Not totally small enough to, like, understand what it was and appreciate it for what it was, but enough to, like, oh yeah, we've got girls kicking ass. I'm gonna try when I'm older. And they're trying to reboot this in a way that Marvel and DC are rebooting it. Marvel's succeeding, DC is destroying it.
It's an old white guy.
It's an old white guy? Then
Yeah.
this is like some asshole in...
Allie, like I said, they looked at the shows they have that are popular.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Teen Titans Go has made fun of this phenomenon where Cartoon Network is, they more or less stopped short of saying that Cartoon Network has sent out memos to their shows telling them to be more like Adventure Time.
Is Cartoon Network Viacom or is that just Nickelodeon?
That's Nickelodeon.
Okay.
And you can tell They tasked this man with
Cartoon
rebooting
Network
Powerpuff
is fine,
Girls.
Like I think Viacom also owns.
And you can tell like all the show notes were like, well, what if they got on the internet?
Again, like.
And that was
Cartoon
that's all they
Network
gave
is,
them.
Time Warner.
Oh, it is Time
Yes.
Warner. Okay.
Yeah, the same people who are
Not
handling
everybody.
DC's work stuff. They don't know what they're doing with anything.
No, they don't care. They're just looking at what worked before and just like, oh, well, we'll just do that. We'll just jizz on it a little bit and we'll sell it to Tumblr and then they'll stroke it off again. That's all it is.
But Tumblr will not like the show.
Finally. It's about time
Because-
Tumblr found something else it doesn't like besides...
Well, it's like I said when we were discussing it a little bit on the Facebook group about the pre-show. It's not that they'll recognize that they're being pandered to. It's just that it won't pander that to them in a way they like.
Right.
And the second it does something that they feel is out of line, they will rip it apart. And that will be the end of the Powerpuff Girls reboot.
And that's kind of what we're seeing already with that the first episode that got released, and that was just like jamming in meme after meme and reference after reference. That like it's been getting torn apart. Like I haven't seen any like actual like critical analysis of it or anything, but it's getting torn apart by the community of people that's just going to put on a bunch of like GIFs and videos of them yelling about it. But
getting mad. Who are they going to date? There's 6. There's no one for the Powerpuff Girls to date.
That's never stopped the internet before. And what about the Rowdy Rough Boys?
Yeah, but
So
that's
they'll
like
come back
too
eventually.
easy. That's like, what, are you going to have Blossom go with Brick? That's bullshit, Allie.
No, don't worry. Blossom will discover her true sexual identity in episode 37.
That's the other thing.
Because elementary, high school.
That's the
is
other
right
thing. They're
time.
starting to play around with stuff like that.
See, and that's the problem is that
like
they're totally...
LGBT things.
Which, like,
do not mess around with that unless you know what you are talking about.
Exactly, and my issue is, like, I would love to see more diversity with
Yes.
sexuality and these things, but at the same time, you know that, by the way, they're spinning these memes because it's some old white guy, as we now know, who probably, like, figured out Grumpy Cat was a thing
Asked
just
his
recently.
grandchildren.
Like his grandchildren were laughing about some shit on the internet. He's like, I'm gonna base a show off that.
They're
But
like, yeah, Grandpa,
the
have them
issue-
twerking.
Right, but the thing is that, like, they're going to start experimenting with LGBTQ stuff,
Oh, we
which
can
is
put it this
awesome,
guy,
but
he's
they're
probably
never going to
super
do
cool.
it any sort of justice. They're going to turn it into some kind of bullshit meme, and they're going to just,
They're
like,
gonna have
totally
a bunch of-
destroy how important of a subject it actually is.
They're gonna have
Yeah,
a bunch
they
of
already did that.
caricatures just for like little.
They did an
little
episode with
bit-ins.
Pony, and the Pony
No.
they alludes to transgender themes. And from what I've read, I haven't watched the episode itself, so I'm not really going to talk too much about it. But I guess they absolutely mangle it.
Of course
I
they
want to see
do.
this. Like I actually, I want
Yeah.
to.
And-
it's a phenomenon where like it's going to be the same thing as the Fuller House. Like they're making season 2 of Fuller House, right? But they don't realize that most people went on Netflix to watch it because of how abysmal everyone heard it was,
And
and
then
they wanted to see
season
what a
2
train wreck it was.
Season 2 will just have to stand on its legs as a show, and then no one will watch it.
And that's the same thing that's probably going to happen with this. Cartoon Network's going to be like, oh, so many people are like watching the show on YouTube and tuning in because then it's the people who came to see the reboot and the people who came to see it crash and burn, and then they're going to be like, oh, 10 more seasons of this, and they're going to keep plugging it out like Uncle Grandpa or something.
No, Uncle Grandpa's already canceled.
Oh yes, we did it, America.
No, there's still like 100 episodes, million episodes left to air. So it's not so much it got canceled, so much as it finished its production run.
Oh.
Which I feel that's not heartbreaking at all. It's maybe heartbreaking for us. But yeah, the Powerpuff Girls reboot is a train wreck.
Yeah.
And they're making a comic book.
Oh no.
Oh,
Yep.
just like the same stuff, but in
It's
book
going to be
form.
worse because they're just going to get a bunch of webcomic people to do it. But they're not going to want to hire anyone of note. They're just going to get people they're going to go like, they're just going to get like super obscure people.
If only they would ask Jeff Jacks.
That's gonna be it.
I don't know, that Powerpuff Girls might be his speed. It's all
Jax
just
is gonna
circles.
come
He has
in
a
and he's
character
gonna be
that-
the one to like slaughter the LGBT stuff on.
Oh, jeez. Oh, Lord. Are we equipped to get into that this
No, we're
episode?
not.
No, we're not. We're gonna.
Maybe this part of the podcast goes away, Jordan.
I feel like if we get into that, like it'll be a special anniversary. Like we made it to 10 episodes, everybody.
Let's go into like the reboots and the comic book adaptations that are actually pretty good because Don, you and I both read through the Invader Zim,
Yes.
the Invader Zim trade.
The Invader Zim trade is every bit as wonderful as the Powerpuff Girls reboot is awful.
Yeah.
And it's because they got,
Ring
one, the
endorsement.
actual show creators involved, and they got artists and writers who were invested in the characters in the series. And what I love about it is that they don't try to continue the series at all. It's just more Invader Zim, and I love it.
Just in like completely discontinuous nonsense adventures, and
Yeah,
they're
there's
not
like-
gonna try and sell it as like a big expanded universe.
Right,
thing.
there's like some nod. It's not like season 3 of Invader Zim. There's
Yeah.
like some nod to the idea that Zim went away for a while.
And he's just been hiding in a toilet.
He's just been, yeah, that's what happened. He was just
for like
hiding in a
10
toilet
years.
to trick Dib into getting fat and smelly because they love their jokes about smells. And there is a little bit of that internet pandering in there. Like there's a whole episode about Let's Plays where Dib is in like Binding of Isaac and stuff.
Oh.
But you can tell they actually know. It's not so
Yeah,
much
no,
pandering
that was
as
the
they actually
episode where Gaz like put Dib into all the video games.
they bend over backwards to make it happen. And that's that's the closest this book comes to having a bad story.
Yeah, but then when
that's
they
pretty
got to
fun.
like the little when they got to like the little one panel vignettes of Dib in these video games, those were actually like I the entire time I was groaning and just going like, oh, they're just like fitting in a bunch of video game episodes, but all of those panels were just like super fun to look at.
They go whole hog on it. Like Dib
Yeah.
looks like Metal Gear art. They like go with the Metal Gear art style.
Yeah, and then meanwhile Gur is just bashing his head on the controller and getting him killed.
Yeah, and the thing is, they do a very good job of keeping the characters in. Oh, there's Sienna. Hello, Sienna. You interrupted me mid-sentence, and now I got to acknowledge you. They're very good about keeping the characters. Like you can hear those voices coming out of those characters' mouths when you read the dialogue.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's like very authentic. It
And
doesn't
that's-
feel like something they just did just because it was something people remembered.
And that was the same thing with like a more recent adaptations of the same thing with the Bob's Burger trade
Yes.
that we looked at. And Allie, you need to check out the trade of this because it's every bit is
Please do.
like I mean I wouldn't I still like the show more just by the virtue of their animation and stuff, but it's the same kind of thing where like it's just a bunch like the trade is just a bunch of little vignettes of different short stories with each character starring like each issue every month.
They
or
center
every-
it around the
whatever
kids for the
different-
most part. Like
yeah,
the frame,
they'll have a
is like
Jean
a
story,
Louise
a Tina story, and a Louise story, and then they'll have like little one-page things. It's like it's Linda writing letters to the editor,
Yes.
or Bob coming up with ideas for burger names. But then like Jean, every one of Jean's stories is a musical number, which is like. I love the idea because they stick with it so much, but you're trying to read a musical and all of the words are in verse.
I also just don't like Jean at all, so I'll probably skip that.
I mean,
So-
they're fun stories because they involve like a lot of the
the
other
roughest.
characters and fun. They are definitely the roughest out of the three. But then like
Just 'cause of the musical thing.
Louise's are always just like far flung fantasies and stuff, and then Tina's are her erotic friend fictions. Like Tina's are by far the best, and like Tina's the fan favorite all the time, I think. But
What was the first one? Battlestar Galactica.
no, the first one was like her as a horse.
Was that it?
That's
There's
it.
one early on in the first trade where it's Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
And she brings the Cylons together with a dance party.
Yeah. Yeah.
She just wants to get
Or
that robo booty.
There's one where it's like a zombie apocalypse, but she finds out that the zombies just wanted to like be accepted and make out or something.
Doesn't she have panic nightmares about like making out with zombies?
She
Yeah.
has confused nightmares.
Or is it she saw
What was it?
like 28 hours or something, or
She
20
saw
days.
she saw some
20 days
zombie
later.
movie, and then started having night terrors about that, and then overheard her grandparents having sex. So
Oh, that's right.
that started to mess with her dreams. So now they're very sexually charged dreams about zombies. But I love that because they make it seem very real to Tina. Like
Yeah.
that's something she's super into, and that's great.
Yes.
That's what like that whole show, and that the comic is exactly like the Invader Zim one, where like you're hearing
Yes.
the characters' voices. It's very true to the show, and very like you can believe that these characters are have the exact same motivations and activities from the show. But then that whole thing, just the fact that the show is one of those that very successfully toes the line between like all audiences and adult humor and stuff. Like they never, when like I keep going back and thinking about it, and all of their remarks are still like with a few exceptions, all of their remarks are very clean. All of their comedy is just like
It's very, they never get especially lewd with it.
yeah, and
It's not Family Guy where it's all just bottom of the barrel gutter humor.
Well, it's silly.
yeah, like
and it's
a poop
fun.
joke is just a poop joke.
yeah.
They don't need to get really gross about it.
What else do we have? So that's just like a couple. I mean, when we're lauding these things, it's so much quicker to go through than talking about something
we're not
that we
angry.
despise.
Because, yeah, like the Powerpuff Girls, it's like I almost didn't want to discuss it. It's just, what do we have to say at this point that isn't just me making all the same complaints I made to you guys about Adventure Time and Steven Universe? Just more so.
Yeah, it goes way farther down that rabbit hole than Adventure Time and Steven Universe. Like Adventure Time and Steven Universe are definitely grabbing for those.
Well, there
little
are the
gift
shows
moments, but
they
they're
are.
not. Yeah.
And have been for a while. They didn't. It isn't like Cartoon Network grabbed that like out of the pile. Like we're
Yeah.
gonna get probably like what was gonna happen if this Powerpuff Girls thing was a success. We'd get like really trashy Dexter's Lab reboot.
Oh
And
no.
they'd bring back Ed and Eddie for some reason.
What if
only-
they fucked up
They-
Courage
oh,
the
they already
Cowardly
tried.
Dog?
How would they screw? Oh God, how would they mess up Howard?
Did you see when they brought back Ed and Eddie for? This was probably about like 5 or 6 years back, or like a bit longer than that, I think. But they did bring back Ed and Eddie after
They
they were
already
gone for
did
a
bring
while.
back Dexter too.
Yeah, and then when they brought back Ed and Eddie,
Yeah, once he's done.
they still stayed pretty true to it visually and stuff, but they made it much more about them. Like instead of just hanging around the cul-de-sac, they were at school school all the time.
Was
getting
that a
into
reboot, or
drama
was that
and
just
stuff.
like a last final season?
It was just like it was actually the same people involved. Like it was still the same thing, but when they brought it back, the tonal shift was like
Because
so. Like you watch.
I know Ed and Eddie was one of the last shows to actually use traditional hand-drawn cells.
Yeah.
So,
But they when they brought it back, it was digital. Like it was very like
So
it
maybe
was
that's
still
the
the same
point
aesthetic,
where-
but it was very clearly very cleaned up and like much less organic.
It's also like the last thing I think Joe Barbera worked on before he croaked.
Yeah, but that was then
They'll
they
bring
brought it
that
back.
back.
They brought it back, and then they did like a really they did a movie, an Ed and Eddie movie. That
Okay, so this
I
was
just
like the
did
tail
not-
end of the series. This
Yeah.
wasn't really a reboot.
This was it was when they went away for like a good.
Well, it sounds like they did the same thing
10
they did
years
to
or something.
Dexter's Lab.
I
where
remember that.
After Jendi Tartakovsky left the show and Christina Cavanaugh went on to voice other things, they got someone, I forgot who it was, to do more episodes, and they were really terrible.
Yeah.
And the art style looked the same, but enough
Right.
off that it was very obvious it was like a different team.
Yeah, but that was
Like
like
a cheaper team.
that was even like just before all of the reboot craze, where the series came back because there was still a genuine interest in trying to get some sort of more satisfying end to the Ed and Eddie series, but it was kind of like the same thing that happened with like I keep thinking of the Boondocks, where they when they came back for what was it, their fourth or fifth season? Yeah, they and everyone
season 4. We should do a whole episode about the Boondocks.
Yeah, but that last season. You haven't seen the last season, have you?
No, remember I did
Don't bother.
I know. Oh, I know.
They
I've heard. That's why I just want to remember it for when it was good.
Yeah.
Dexter went from looking like chubby and cute to just looking like like that super streamlined Nickelodeon style.
Yeah.
Where everything is just too tiny and pinched, and they didn't think about it at all.
Yeah.
I miss Dexter's Lab. It was a good show.
Dexter's Lab was amazing.
That's
and
probably.
I had a love-hate relationship with Dee Dee because A, she fucked things up, but god damn it, do I want to like punch her in the gooch.
Yeah. That's got to be coming up on the reboot chopping block.
Oh, it's gotta. Except like they're gonna like turn him into like
Dexter will have autism and
that'll be it. And then they're just gonna be like really shitty about like you know, like
it'll
people
just
with
be
Asperger's. Yeah, it's just like they're gonna sit there and think they're connecting, but it's really just going to be.
They're like missing the point of like all those other moments and other shows.
Yeah.
Entirely, where they're not actually being sensitive.
The one like it was after they came back with New Dexter that they did the Dexter's Lab movie, right?
No, that was John D. Turturicossi because that was very much.
Because I love
very
that
much.
movie.
You can tell because it's very.
Here's the thing.
I want to say ponderous action.
If they bring back Dexter's Lab, the only way I'm willing to see it is if they do what they're doing to the Flintstones reboot, where it's like this crazy, like, comic book style superhero bullshit.
No.
If they do that to Dexter's Lab, then I'll be like, alright, you have my attention for one episode, because there's no way this can go well.
I'll pull up some adult Dexter fan
they
art, and then you can see where that would go.
I don't want to think about it, though. If I wanted to think about it, I'd write fan fiction.
Allie, now I kind of want Dexter to show up on like Venture Brothers.
I would kill for that.
That'd be great.
They can do that. They have
all of the Hanna-Barbera characters on there.
Like they have Johnny Quest in there. Like why just bring back like Dexter and he's an adult.
That'd be super ballin'. But like you have to give him some freaking bandoliers.
No, that's almost what's the Billy Quiz Boy.
Billy Quiz Boy.
He almost seemed like his design almost seemed based off of Dexter.
Yeah, that boy. And he does go by Boy Genius.
Yeah.
And he's got red hair.
Billy Quiz Boy.
He's
got that giant head and the.
He doesn't sound like it though.
No, yeah, he's got his own very distinct voice and stuff. But that was kind of like the same thing they did with the. Like with the original characters on Venture Bros and stuff, like they were very clearly riffing on all the Hanna-Barbera characters, but they couldn't, like it took them a bit after the pilot before they actually started plugging them directly in there.
Yeah, I think what happened is eventually they realized they could stop just making jokes about it and then just straight up have Johnny Quest show up, so that's what they started doing.
Yeah.
And they killed Maurice Bannon in one episode. And Dr. Zim is just a character on the show now.
Yeah.
Completely like devoid of context of Johnny Quest, and it's pretty great.
So what season did they just finish a season, or are they in one right now?
They just finished season 6.
Okay, I'm 2 seasons behind, so I need to catch up. But love that show. That's where more of these reboots need to go. If they could like stop trying to plug them back into Cartoon Network, because that's not your audience for these reboots. Like give them to Adult Swim, and then put them on Toonami or something, because that's what they're doing with like bringing back Samurai Jack, and when they
don't even need to give it like adult humor or any of that. They could just bring it back as is for the older
that's
audience.
The sad thing is that nowadays just intelligent, well thought out humor is mistaken for adult humor.
I know. How are like? Don't get me wrong. I'm all for dick jokes. A little less on the poop jokes, but you know. But
Dexter's Lab would never get made now, just because it'd be considered boring.
I don't think so. I would sit down and still watch
Dexter's Lab was
make
like
it
anything but where he like ends up in a truck stop, like making his dad arm wrestle a guy with a giant robot fist.
Yes.
I love that. Like that Dexter's Lab.
But Jordan, he doesn't have a MySpace account.
Well, damn it, he could.
Or he doesn't have a. Now Dexter wouldn't have a lab. He'd just have an app. He'd have an app that's a lab.
Oh man.
Summon all of his giant robots with his phone.
That would be it. He could just be like Iron Man and just have like a bunch of shit laying around. So that he apparently made. And then maybe you just see him like tweaking a robot once in an episode and that's it.
They had like a whole thing with the robot that kept coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I remember
like
that robot.
The giant Dexter robot.
Yeah.
In the movie, when like he gave each of his family a Voltron bot and they all merged together.
No, that was like a special episode. That was like a half-hour thing.
Oh right. No, didn't they bring back the Voltron bot in the movie? I'm pretty
No,
sure towards the end when they're like fighting in the future.
They built one out of like a bunch of other robots in the time machine.
Oh yeah, because it's like
He
Dexter
built,
and his
so
two
many
future
maps on that
Dexters,
show.
or like 3 future Dexters. There was a lot of times traveling in that.
Yeah, there was like future Dexter, and then future Dexter, and then old Dexter.
Yeah.
Which is cute. That was a cute show.
Yeah.
That was a great
I'm
show.
gonna go back and watch some of that.
Dexter, Powerpuff Girls. There's like what was the other show? Cow and Chicken.
Oh, Cow and Chicken was my jam. I fucking love that show.
That's
I
one
haven't
we're
seen that
like,
in years. I mostly
how?
That
remember.
was a terrible show and I loved every
I
second
remember
of it.
Michael Jordan was the voice of the weasel.
Was he?
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
That
That's like the
weasel.
perfect voice.
So good.
Poor Christians meet Michael Jordan.
Courage the Cowardly Dog was also in that time. And Courage with the Cowardly Dog was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
If they brought that back
Terrifying.
now, Allie, here's how they would ruin
It would be a zombie apocalypse.
Yes, they would make it a dead serious show.
It would be a zombie apocalypse.
But
and
Courage
like,
would
and
still
Mu-
be Courage.
Yeah.
And
Muriel
Muriel would be
is
a
still
20-year-old, so we could have sex with her.
That's true, and you can watch it online for premium content.
Oh, we didn't get a chance to talk about the casting for who was it that got for Spider-Man Aunt May got cast.
that's a good segue to that.
She's so fuckable now.
Like keeps getting
But
younger and
yeah,
younger
who was
throughout the
that?
reboots.
Aunt May for Spider-Man Homecoming.
Spider-Man.
Aunt May. It's a recognizable actress.
She's
Oh,
with him.
Iron Man's gonna be in it though. That has me interested.
And
Is
then,
that
like,
it?
Like my Iron Man, like Robert Downey Jr.
May.
yep.
Yeah.
She's like a 12-year-old.
She's actually like the actress is.
They're gonna like
I think
put
the
so
actress
much
is
makeup
actually,
on
like,
her though.
How?
50 or like in late 40s or something, but it's still
Oh, it-
just like.
No.
And they're making Peter Parker a lot younger in this one, so not, like they're like.
But still,
I
like,
don't
unless
want
Peter
to-
Parker is like 12 years old and
Yeah.
occasionally has impure thoughts about his aunt because she's hot as fuck over here, like, I'm not
Yeah,
interested.
where
There's no
is-
justification for any of this bullshit.
I'm trying to find who the actress is. And I don't know why I'm
Go to the IMDb. Back on.
There we go. Where is this? I don't know how to use the internet, Jordan.
Look up Spider-Man
Mostly
Homecoming
use it.
IMDb.
Here.
Deadline.
No, here.
No.
Sean, just don't touch anything. Just don't.
Yeah.
Where
Where
am I
they
going?
finagle over
Oh.
that. It's like there are a lot of questions with the new Spider-Man coming out, like both in the new
Marissa Tomei.
Captain America movie and in his own Spider-Man movie. That like I don't really.
Oh.
Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say
but-
Marissa Tomei. I know who that is.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. Yeah, just couldn't remember the name. But I don't want to spend the time getting these questions answered for Spider-Man. It's just like they keep dredging this stuff up for me. That's just like why did they cast Marissa Tomei? Why are his eyes able to move in that like crappy CG costume in the Captain America trailer? And granted, it's a trailer, and they'll probably make it look better, but why did they have to put that out? Because he looked like he was made out of rubber. That was like CG from 2005.
I'm pretty sure they just rushed it, to be honest with you, because
Yeah,
like
they just slapped him in when they
You
finally got some
yeah.
of these
What do
rights.
they have to get people hyped for?
That's what like more
this point-
more news on that crap. Like they're also trying to bridge the gap with Fox. Like they're gonna do a Spider-Man Deadpool movie.
They are?
Why?
Yep. Because then they can both be like, we can have two snarky, breaking the fourth wall characters.
No, like every Superman, every superhero for Marvel, like bless him, I love my sassy white man privilege, but every male superhero, with the exception of Bruce Banner and Thor, are snarky ass white men. That's all it is. They're all sarcastic.
And then all of the female characters are just like, men, and then they just let them do everything anyway.
Yeah.
Oh man, I watched, what was it, Hulk and the Agents of Smash.
Oh Jesus.
And I hated She-Hulk on that show because her job was to fly the plane. And the Hulk. What? The Hulk would have like existential crises about whether is he the man or the monster, and the Red Hulk would like deal with forgiving himself and dealing with his anger. And She-Hulk was really sad this one time that they didn't want to do roller derby. Or her greatest fear.
She-Hulk sad.
Her greatest fear in another episode was being cold.
What?
Yeah. What the?
Please tell me you're saying emotionally cold and not nipping cold.
Just actually cold.
Just physically cold.
Oh boy, it sure is cold in here.
Oh man, and then they say that her nipples grew 3 sizes that day. Are you fucking serious?
I wish
That's
we were roller derby.
It's a fun show, but that was like all She-Hulk. Like whenever they had a She-Hulk moment, it was always something stupid.
Yeah, it's like they're not making like as much of a one-dimensional mess of things as a lot of the DC characters are, but like all their characters are exactly the same. It's like it's the DreamWorks.
They're doing a better
smirky
job of it in the pages of the books than they are.
Yeah, definitely. In the the comics are a lot more interesting than I mean they gotta make the movies to appeal for everyone. We gotta get everyone jumping on that
They're
train.
slowly working on it.
Yeah, and they could do some interesting stuff with like some of the movies that they have lined up. But I don't know.
I think also partly they didn't expect their movies to be as popular as they are.
Yeah, but then there's like they have
like
some of their
moving
movies
forward.
lined up that could have way more interesting female characters or characters that have a lot more agency and a lot more things going on underneath the hood. But then they're doing this, like the whole thing that's come up with all the whitewashing in the Doctor Strange film. that's coming out, where like his like they cast her as they cast Doctor Strange as so Doctor Strange always had this like Asian mysticism sidekick. They cast the sidekick as a woman, but they cast her as a white woman who still comes from Asia and from like a mystic background.
I mean, it's kind of like the recent controversy where they cast Scarlett Johansson
for Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
And now people are rushing to make a bunch of excuses for it, and it's, I don't know.
Yeah, and especially like you can't get
feels-
away with that after all the crap that came out for the Oscars, and like everyone finally realized like, oh wait, it's just a bunch of white guys out there
It's
on
like
the
why are you
screen.
making why is this movie necessary, and why is it necessary if you're going to make the boring white people version of it?
Because white people's gotta feel special, dumb.
Well, like they put out the first teaser for or the first trailer for Doctor Strange, and literally all it was like Benedict Cumberbatch hanging around like Jupiter ascending style CG, and just like a bunch of random like floating panels of mysticism. And then they ripped a bunch of scenes straight out of Inception, like the folding city and the upside down New York City and stuff like that. They just like ripped a bunch of stuff straight out of Inception. So it's gonna be a CG nightmare.
Do you think
like
we're
I don't know
heading
how they're
towards-
gonna pull that off.
Are we heading towards our first bad Marvel movie?
I'm at first.
No, it's not the first. The
What?
first Captain America and the first
fir-
Thor were
the
pretty
first one
freaking
that-
terrible.
That's-
Benedict Cumberbatch is going to carry that
Well, what
far.
I mean by bad is that
Like-
it's rough to the point where it's actually like a problem. Like where
Well,
it
again-
goes
and again,
beyond
they've-
just
they've
it goes
already-
beyond just this isn't a movie for me to just this is a bad movie.
No, they've only released the one trailer, so there's no real telling, and they have the star power of Benedict Cumberbatch, which will get like the internet,
But I don't know
like
who
ever
he
since
is.
that casting
I don't know
decision.
what he does.
He's Sherlock Holmes in the like the
Oh.
BBC Sherlock that everyone loves, and so he gets the like you don't have to know who he is, but he gets
They tried
the
that
internet
with that
wet.
Star Trek movie though, and that was a oof.
Yeah,
Did you ever see that?
That was a
where
mess. The second Star
Into
Trek.
Darkness, where Spock is just beating up people. That's how he defeats.
That's the
how
logic.
he
That's the
defeats
same thing they
Spock.
did in the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movie. Where it's like he's so smart that he uses his intelligence to just beat the shit out of people.
That's how.
And it's just like this is the smart way to get out of this scenario. Throat punch.
Yeah,
Punch.
like
I
in
love
the first
that movie, though.
Instead
It's
of having,
ridiculous.
you know how like in Rathacon, Kirk has to outthink and outmaneuver Khan. Instead, in Into Darkness, Spock just beats him half to death.
Well, that's like I don't know. They had a more
movie's-
interesting play with like his in the first reboot. Like I really liked the first reboot, but they had a more interesting idea with like Spock's part human. He's got to deal with like wanting to beat people up sometimes too. But like they just went full ham with that, and
It was comical.
They-
Like there's a scene earlier where Kirk is trying to beat up Khan and it's not working. He's like it's not meant to be funny, but it's really goddamn funny because he's just like why aren't my punches working? And it turns out all you had to do was just hit him harder. They could have wrapped that movie up in like an extra hour early.
I'm looking up
It's like,
the
Spock, this isn't working. Help.
The
Ugh.
Great Mystery.
Yeah, if I'm not.
I'm
impressed
trying to
by
look up the.
Cumberbund or whatever.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up Doctor Strange's IMDb, and I keep putting in Doctor Strangelove instead.
Oh God.
That's a good movie.
I was thinking of Dr. Fate. That's a DC character though.
Yeah. What? Like, I've never heard about that one. I mean, I haven't heard about thousands and thousands of
Basically,
DC
they
characters.
might as well be the same character.
Yeah. The Sorcerer Supreme, which
It's like
is just
Thanos.
like Deus Ex, go
it's
fuck
like
yourself.
Thanos and Darkseid. Thanos and Darkseid might as well be the same character.
Yeah. It didn't, like, Marvel made Thanos as a direct riff on Darkseid or something.
Yeah, Kirby did, I think. So there's like a lot of characters that are like that. Like there's I don't know, there's one team in Marvel that's a straight rip of the Justice League. I'm trying to remember what they're called.
I wouldn't be.
Like they have a Batman stand-in.
I know who you're talking about.
They showed up in the cartoon and the Avengers beat them up because you're all seeing our movie instead.
Well, I think that's a good place as any to
Is that a
wrap
good
it up.
place to wrap it up?
Yeah. So, just a reminder: the opinions reflected on the Grad Lab Podcast are not those of the Savannah College of Art and Design or the Sequential Art faculty or facilities or administration or anything. If you have a problem, you pin it on us. We take full responsibility, but don't expect to get anything out of it if you have a
Yeah, just blame
problem.
it
Don't
on
expect to get
Sienna.
anything out of it if you're like one of the
She didn't
10
talk.
people that listen.
We'll start laughing.
So, yeah,
We'll
we
talk
didn't
about
really,
it over
we didn't
dinner.
really introduce. I'll put it in intro or something. But this has been Jordan Scribner, Allie Pipitone, Don Fox, and the spirits of Jacquie Juretus and Sienna Harrelson. So, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.